Hello, everybody. Welcome to the You Are Worthy Network. I'm your host, Steve Wormer, and I, to no surprise, have another amazing guest that I'm going to introduce you to here shortly. But first, I want to say thank you to my creator, first of all, and then to each one of you for helping us surpass 15,000 members a few days ago. You guys are amazing. And I want to tell you, if you're new, because you might be saying, what is this You Are Worthy Network? What's it even all about? Something about the name maybe resonated with you and you joined, and I appreciate that. But I'll try to give the Cliff Notes version. I am a preacher, so sorry, not sorry kind of thing. Um, you Are Worthy Network came from my own stinking mindset. Yeah, I was doing deep mindset work about a year, 18 months ago, and this word unworthy kept popping up. You're unworthy of love. You're unworthy of respect. You're unworthy of success. And I'm like, what is this garbage? And I knew it here, but the problem was it had to travel that oh so long distance of a few inches to here where it really matters. And as I started to have more consistent, because nobody's ever perfect in mindset, trust me, as I started to have some breakthroughs here and here, I said, "Oh my gosh, it's kind of like buying a new car. Like you see everybody get the car you got all of a sudden, right?" And I was like, everybody's struggling with mindset. Everybody's struggling to some level of imposter syndrome, lack of self-worth, limited thinking, da 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 da. And I said, I want to help. I want to do my part. And that's when I created this because I want to give the antithesis of my stinking thinking, and that is we are worthy right where we're at, not when we achieve the next thing, not when God answers the next prayer, though that's really cool. We're worthy today. So that's the short version. Hope that helps a little bit. I'm just trying to bring a little bit of hope and encouragement in a very, very dark world because I think it needs it. So, anyway, with that said, as I lose Amy's bio that I had pulled up because it timed out, the joys of being live,
We can wing it.
I will have it momentarily though. um, I was going to say something, but I forgot. See, there you go. Trying to make filler live doesn't work. Here we go. So let me tell you a little bit about Amy. Amy Ramsey is a leadership and high performance expert, speaker, author, and business strategist, helping ambitious women align faith, leadership, and execution to create lasting success with more peace, purpose, and impact. Through her scripture rooted, science backed approach, she equips women with the mindset, there you go, habits, and strategies needed to grow in business, leadership, and life without burnout or striving. Amy is the host of the Worthy Woman podcast and creator of the Worthy Woman High Performance Planner and accelerate her coaching experience. Oh my goodness. Amy, welcome to the Your Worthy Network.
Thank you, Steve. It's lovely to be here. Thank you. I'm excited about this conversation.
I am too. And look at the backgrounds. I mean,
I know.
I gotta tell you guys, a common friend suggested that I connect with Amy. And I trust the friend, and the friend's been a guest on here. And I was like, okay, I'll reach out to her. And Amy was extremely busy. She was doing her annual event. She had a injury she was dealing with, and she and I didn't connect for a while. So what I'm trying to articulate to you is I reached out to her, not knowing she had this worthy theme at the center of everything she does. And look at God move.
I know. It's so fun. It's just such a like-mindedness. And that friend is Lisa Arundel, my best friend for over 30 years. Like
That's
she
right.
is a treasure.
Yeah, she really is. She's gold,
Really.
no doubt
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, I know this answer, but everybody watching that does not know, what part of the world are you coming from today, Amy? Where do you live?
I currently live in Jackson, Mississippi area. I'm originally from Louisiana. I like to differentiate because the two states are very different, although a lot of people think they're similar. And they are.
That's hilarious. Yeah, they're both down there.
Yeah, down there, down there. That's right.
Although, for you guys that don't know, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's the strangest thing because yeah, it's Tennessee, but it's right on the corner of Arkansas and Mississippi too. So they call it the tri-state area. So I know exactly where Jackson is.
Absolutely.
Um, Amy, tell us about your family. Who do you do life with?
So my husband and I, we're empty nesters. So this is just an interesting stage of life for us. I know you've had just had one graduate high school. We're empty nesters, and a lot of my family lives in Louisiana. Our kids live away, so a lot of our time is spent visiting them. In fact, we're expecting our second grandchild any day now. She texted last night. We both jumped on the phone. Like, oh gosh, is it time to go? Is it time to go? Like any day
Wow.
now. She's 5 foot tall, and the baby's due mid June. But she's 5 foot tall, and the baby's over 7 pounds already, and she's just like it's all belly. So anyway, we're excited. So a lot of our time is spent with our grown children as much as we can, and with now we have two that'll be the second one on the way. But and we got two dogs. So that's what family these days looks like. My husband and I starting to look like old people sitting on our front porch in the evening eating our dinner and playing with our two dogs and waiting for the grandchildren.
Drinking sweet tea?
No, heavens no, too much sugar.
It's too much sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So what do you and your husband like to do for fun? Do y'all travel a lot? Do you got
We
something
do.
local there you like to do?
We do. We enjoy traveling. We both are. He's stepping into some entrepreneurship and getting ready for a second phase or a next phase after retirement. So he's doing some building projects. We have some properties down in Florida, so we really do split some time between here and Florida. And when we do enjoy traveling, for sure, for sure.
Love it. You're giving me
They're so.
withdrawals from Florida. I haven't been in Florida in 3 years. It's time to go back.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. So let's get back into the time machine for a second. I
Okay.
wanna take you back to your senior year in high school. And specifically, I want to take you back to it's almost graduation time. There's just a few days left, and you've already got your cap, you've already got your gown, maybe you've got your class ring, you've got the dates circled on your calendar, and you're marking them down. I don't know you very well. I didn't know you back then at all. Maybe you were assigned to get the beach ball to get that party started during the during the ceremony. Um, where was your mindset? Were you like, gotta get out of here? Can't come soon enough. I got this thing mapped out. The world is mine. I know what I'm gonna do. I know where I'm gonna work this summer. I know where I'm gonna do in the fall. Let's go. Or there's no right or wrong answer.
Right.
Or, gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna miss this place. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I guess I need to get a job. I guess I'll figure it out. Or were you somewhere in between?
I was ready to go for sure, but I didn't have a clear plan that I would have liked to have had. I'm very ambitious now, and so I don't think I was nearly as ambitious I was 17 when I graduated high school. I don't think I was nearly as ambitious then. So a lot of the girls that my own girls are like, I'm doing this. I want to go to this college. I'm graduating this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this master's and they've got their lives mapped out. I wasn't that person. I wasn't that person. But I was ready to move on for sure.
Okay. All right. So what did you eventually do that fall after graduation?
I did attend our college. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana, and now it's University of Louisiana at Monroe, ULM. Back then, it was Northeast University, Northeast Louisiana University. So I attended Northeast Louisiana University. My parents are entrepreneurs, and they saw that entrepreneurship in me. My mother had an interior design store, and it seems like that summer I went to Houston and did, or maybe it was the summer after, and took did some like personality types of tests and different things like that, which were not as they are more well known now, like aptitude test. And then I'm very creative. I also did floral design school, so I went to floral design school and did that for a little bit, just kind of creative. I actually, this is so funny. I haven't thought about this in so many years, but for a while I was doing events and planning and flowers and I totally forgot about that, Steve. That's so funny because now I actually host events for women and retreats, and that same thread of creativity and bringing something beautiful together is very similar. Very interesting, actually.
That's part of why I do it. It
Yeah,
jars the memory.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so it sounds like you're kind of wired for entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
and that came shining through fairly early on.
Mhm.
So far as income goes, did you jump right into the entrepreneurs right away? Were you generating income, or were you having to do a little bit of corporate America or 9 to 5 work and the entrepreneur thing at the same time?
Mostly entrepreneurship. So part of my story, part of my whole journey, I my first marriage actually, I he was in ministry. Unfortunately, it was a really difficult situation. Um, Abuse, lots of drama, lots of trauma, lots of unfortunate events. But for many years, I stayed home and raised our children. And actually, unfortunately, he didn't overcome his addiction, and he is no longer here. Um,
Mm.
but I left on a train in the middle of the night with my children and left for safety. And I was forced to go from, I was homeschooling my children and staying at home with them. I had a little one, my little one had autism, to I had to go to work and I had to figure it out. And so it manifested itself in different things, but it was survival mode at first. I leaned on that creativity. I had some interior design and some skill sets just from my mother, really. And I had to figure out what am I going to do to be able to support these two children. And so it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I think I want to be an entrepreneur. And what seems best? No, it was like, how can I quickly go to business and make money and provide for my children?
Wow. I
Yeah.
first of all, I'm sorry for the abuse.
Yeah.
That's not good. And you did what every strong woman and mom does, right? You do what you got to do,
Do what you got to do. Yeah.
and you made it happen. You said you had 2 kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when did you start to really? And I know we'll probably skip some time in here,
Mhm.
but like when did you start to find your lane, find the alignment, so to speak?
I stayed in design work honestly, I was really good at it and it paid well. So I enjoyed that, but it wasn't, and I've also always had some place where I've taught health and wellness, nutrition, all of that. And so there was a time and a day, I'll not forget it. I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing both. And I dropped the design and leaned into health, fitness, and wellness. And I launched my brand back in 2018, and it was called The Fit Soul. And I wanted to bring integrative health and wellness online. And I definitely wasn't the first person to to do that, but I was one of the few that came in with a faith piece to your health and wellness. And so that's how I started in the online space back in 2018. And that continued to ebb and flow. And I've just continued to lean into what am I wired at? What does God want me to do? And it's more business coaching now and more high performance coaching. And I had to drop altogether the fitness component. Like I burned the bridge um, to the nutrition, fitness, integrative health, which I still have that. And I think that's a part of your overall well being and high performance. Actually, if you don't have your health, you don't have your wealth. It's just real simple.
Hmm.
So anyway, I think that's been my evolution is just leaning into the strengths. What do I love? What is God calling me to? And I think that's a natural place of maturing, getting a little older, getting a little wiser, more discerning of your yeses and where do I want my time? Where can I make the most impact here?
Well, that brings up a couple of thoughts. Like you're very well established now, but if I have your timetable right, 2018 really wasn't all that long ago.
Mm-mm.
So you've definitely made some leaps and bounds in
Mm-hmm.
8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and so you started off with fitness, health, and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So why the transition to business coaching was more women starting to come to you and organic conversations were starting to happen. You were starting to see a common thread in those conversations. Is that how it happened?
Yes, and I love it. I think my superpower is systems and strategies. And then just being in the space for 8 years, especially when somebody comes new and it's overwhelming, especially now with AI. Gosh, AI wasn't around when I started. I can't even imagine, like, it actually would short circuit a lot of the things that were harder then. But it also, the online space is also definitely more white noise than it used to be. So just helping, my heart is to help women um, my calling is this: Ephesians 4:1, walk worthy of my calling, powerfully use my voice, and help other women walk worthy of their calling. I was talking on the phone this morning actually to one of my clients. I have a retreat coming up, and she's going to be helping me in it. She's been in my coaching programs for years, and she's not an entrepreneur. And but I saw something in her to come and maybe partner with me and help me at this retreat. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, yes, this is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do and be of service." So it's not even about just business, women in business. And I do enjoy that part because I've been doing it for so long and I understand business and branding and the importance of that and how to use your voice online to stand out and make a brand. But even with my friend today, who was seen and heard, and she just wants to be of service. She wants to use her service. So I really, my ultimate goal is to help women, like to disciple them and mentor them to make the impact that they're created to make and to walk worthy of that calling. Stop wasting time, stop dabbling in distractions, overwhelm, fear, imposter syndrome, all the things that hold us back. And let's go. Time is short. I believe the time is short. And the more believers stand up and shine their light bright for Jesus and live as He's created us to live, and let the natural gifts and skills and talents and treasures that we have, there are good works for each of us to do, whether we're getting paid for it, we're in ministry for it, or it's volunteer, whatever. We all have an impact to make. And so my heart's desire is to really equip and empower women to go forth and to do that.
Ooh, it was through the screen. It was getting a little warm. I saw the face light up. I saw the volume go up a little bit. You were
Yeah.
bringing the fire with that. I
Well,
see where the
I just
passion
feel
is.
so passionate about it,
I
Steve.
love
Come
it.
on.
I
And I
love it.
know
Okay.
you feel
No.
passionate about it too. Listen, I just want to say,
Uh,
I believe using our voice is so important. Speaking of, you mentioned something about a competition you're in using your voice, walking worthy. And I just think it's important. But I just want to say to all of your fans listening here, you guys, Steve entered himself, he did it scared, into a speaking competition, next top speaking, with over 4,000 speakers. And you got a great email this morning, didn't you?
oh, Amy's flipped the table on me live, and I have to roll with it.
Roll with it, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Was that Stevie Winwood? I remember it.
Yeah, yeah,
Roll
yeah,
with.
yeah.
I'm
Thank
not
you for the
singing it though.
reference. As I said it, I thought I probably should have prefaced that.
Too funny. Yeah, I woke up this morning to a pleasant email well, the process is I'll try to be brief. Again, I'm a preacher. You enter a trailer video, and out of those 4,000 videos, it gets narrowed down to 200 this morning, and I made that cut. That's what you're referencing. And tomorrow, there's another cut down to 100. And if you guys would join me in prayer and good thoughts on that, I would appreciate it.
Congratulations. Amazing.
I,
I'm really proud of you. I really am. I don't think what a lot of people don't understand, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage for you to get up and to find people to interview regularly. It takes a lot of work and effort too. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there and to put yourself in a speaking competition. Like that's a lot.
you know what? I'll say this in flow. It's amazing what happens when we say yes.
That's right.
I've got a keynote that's called "What's on the Other Side of Your Yes," and
Come on.
I won't go down that road. But imposter syndrome and all that stuff, it comes back every single time you walk into a new room or you say yes to a new endeavor. However, it becomes a new habit
That's
too.
right.
So that we'll just stop there.
That's right.
Thank you for saying something about that. I'm going to flip the script back to you where it's supposed to be.
Fine. Fine.
So let's, I want you to take a sampling of your clients
Okay.
because I know you wouldn't do this on your own. I want you to think about a sampling of your clients over the years and they reach out to you for help. I want you to describe, and this is a challenge, but I think you'll see the fruit in it as we go. I want you to describe that sampling of women, how they're feeling. Describe them in just 3 words. Like I'll give you an example. Maybe hopeless. Give me 3 words to describe how they're feeling.
Um, the first word that comes to mind right now is overwhelmed. I do believe that there is an enormous amount of overwhelm for most people with all of the white noise with social media. I mean, I'm not throwing shade at it. That's the venue we're on right now to get this message out. But I do believe it's complicated right now with AI and the advancement of how quickly things are changing with everything. And there is a real sense of overwhelm, but also a real sense, what I'm hearing women say a lot of, they're behind, even in business, they're behind because they don't know how to utilize AI in their business and how to execute on that. And I feel like that a little bit. I don't know about you, Steve, but I feel like that. I'm like, okay, well, I need to figure out how do I do this? How I don't know the prompts. I don't know the stuff proficiently.
Mhm.
And I do think if you kind of, I mean, somebody, I had lunch with a girlfriend today. She's so funny. And she was like, some people say it's Satan. They might be right. They might be wrong, but you better get on. You've got to know it at this point. It's not going away. And so we can utilize it, right? How do we utilize it? So I think overwhelm, I think feeling behind.
I think that let's narrow that down even further. Is that panic? Is that anxiety? Is it in that realm?
I I think personally it comes from scarcity. Like when you
Scarcity.
have an abundance mindset, there's enough time, there's enough resources, God is enough through you, there is no shortage. So I think that comes down to scarcity,
Love it.
personally. Um, and so overwhelm, feeling behind. And then the other thing that I would say that really is the thing, I do feel like I do help a lot of emerging entrepreneurs, and just putting yourself out there is very difficult. So there's always the imposter syndrome. But I think that if I were to identify the third top one for my clients when I'm thinking about them, would be all or nothing thinking or perfectionism instead of
Mm.
just starting, taking messy action. And that all or nothing is a true paralysis and truly causes procrastination
Yep.
in ways that we don't even consider it. And I think the people that are more successful are just the people that just say, okay, I don't know what to do, but let's go. I'm
Let's
going to do it
go.
messy. Let's take some messy action. I'll figure it out on the back end, but let's roll.
Totally relate to that. And I'm in transition. Well, anyway, let's roll with this. So are you comfortable with overwhelmed, scarcity, and perfectionism? I don't
Yeah,
want to put words in your mouth.
yeah.
All right. So they work with you for a time, and on the other side of working with you, now take that same sampling of clients after you've worked with them, 3 words.
Three words: um, activated, accelerated, and achieving.
Oh, I knew you were going to give me another A.
Well, I'm not even trying to pull. I actually have a 5A framework that is awaken, align. I probably should have align. Let me change that to align. They align with their faith. I believe that success God's way looks different from success in the in the world's way. And we have to get aligned to our faith and to seeking first the kingdom of God. Matthew 6:33.
33.
And to surrender. And that's very difficult for ambitious people. It really is. It's like we get the message from God, and then oftentimes we're off to running and we are doing the thing and we forgot, oh God, I still need you here. Oh Lord,
Oh,
wait, you know what is it that you want of me in this moment? And then listen, it can become an idol. The thing that we're pursuing can become an idol for us. I have done that too many times. And so I've learned the hard way that I always want to seek first the kingdom of God. So align with Him. And then aligning our habits. If we don't have the right habits in place, the right mindsets in place, understanding exactly what we need to do to move forward, it's going to be difficult to move forward. So I see if you skip that alignment piece and you go to activation, well, you're kind of screwed because you might be not taking the proper steps and then wasting time. So if you really want to figure out the best way to go, but here's what I see in my clients. We work through this. I just wrote a planner on this, and it is everyday alignment, everyday activation. And the once you do that and you build those reps in, day in, that's where the compounding consistency comes in, which is acceleration.
well, ladies and gentlemen, if she wasn't fired up before, now we got her hitting on all cylinders.
I'm just saying, I told you, my goal is my calling is to help walk worthy. Not just empower, not just inspire, that goes away, but actually to equip. I was just on the phone, I mean, on a Zoom with a client right before this, and we were working on her goals. And so I'm walking her through my high performance curriculum. And she was saying, we're at the halfway point. This the 6 week, they're on her 7th week, her 7th session. And so I have a list of questions. I'm like, okay, tell me about this. And so we literally just did this. I just did this right before I got on. And she went back to the thoughts and the actions and everything that we're talking about right here. And it's beautiful because she started to transform in 4 weeks. And I said, what you don't understand, Tabitha, that's really so powerful about this is that people get stuck. I need everyone to hear this right now in this moment. There's hope. And when you implement the right strategies and you have the right people in your corner helping to not call you out, but call you higher and show you the road, there is hope and things can change quick. But like Steve, like you said, is that there on the other side of your scary, sweaty armpit, yes, is the breakthrough, is the reward, is the and that's when things start to happen. Your faith without works is dead. I hate to tell you. Like you got to go get yourself in action. What you going to do? You sitting here thinking about it is nothing, baby. Let's go. Implementation. Let's get that plan in action. I told you I'm an activator. I'm sorry. I'm going to hush up. I got all excited again.
God does not use a parked car.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so so
There's
so
too
uh
many darn parked cars
too many. Oh,
in
hey,
believers, in our
that's a
believers. It's unacceptable.
that's a good keynote. Too many parked cars.
Too many parked cars. Yeah.
All
You can't
right, so
unsee that.
check this out.
Okay.
So if you work with Amy, and by the way, I know she'll agree with this. God does the heavy lifting when it comes to transformation of a heart. But he does have to have a vessel, and Amy's the vessel in this case. People working with Amy go from overwhelmed to aligned, scarcity to activated, perfectionism to accelerated. Who doesn't want that? That's awesome. Um, so just a little plug for you there.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
So tell us what you like to speak about from stage.
I I love to speak about in the right audience. I do corporate talks as well. So at corporate, I love to talk about the science of high performance. I really do. I love how I hit clinical burnout, Steve, from working too hard, from having my foot mashed to the accelerator for too long. And all of it came from a place of unworthiness. I was striving, I was hustling, trying to fulfill that void in my life. I started to overcome the initial unworthiness and trauma and abuse and all of the lies that I had been told. And I started to have success. I started to learn about my identity. I started to learn how to use science, neuroscience, to hardwire my brain for success. I started implementing that, and I had incredible successes. I was top earner in a company. Like I jumped in, I didn't even tell you about that. I jumped into a company and was a top earner out of 30,000 women. I was like in the top 12. And it was all from like just learning all of this, but none of it was satisfying. I kept pushing, pushing, pushing. And then I just hit a place of burnout. And that was finally when the Lord had my attention. Sometimes I can be hard headed. I'm not proud about that. But God had my attention. But what I learned from that is every time I would win a new title or earn a new this or whatever, reach a new zero behind a number, I couldn't even say, oh, okay, great. I would just look down and say, I'd look up and say, what's next?
Next.
Because it wasn't fulfillment. And finally, when the I was just broken and remorseful, honestly, regretful because titles became idols for me. And I was out of alignment with my assignment. And that's when that's where Walk Worthy, the worthy woman was birthed from. That was more residual unworthiness that I had to process, I had to deal with, and humbly walk through this process of what is it to walk worthy? It's to serve others. It is to love God and it is to love others. And there is no striving, there is no proving. It is an inherent value that I have. And so I know that's what you started with, and that's where I had to come. And it was a full circle moment. And I'm still in the process of aligning my ambition. That is the hardest thing I think for ambitious people is to align your ambition and do success God's way. And that's my biggest message right now is aligned ambition, quite frankly, and how to have success God's way. What does it look? It looks different from us. Can I give you a real quick 4-part framework?
Absolutely.
Were you landing the plane and I just picked it back up?
No,
We'll
plane's
circle
still
it back.
we're still in mid-flight.
Okay. I forgot to ask you how long we're on for. So success God's way looks different than success of the world, and that's what I had to figure out. And we can get up as believers and get in our Bible and check off our quiet time and be completely distracted and not even like okay, this we're entrepreneurs and we eat, drink, sleep the next thing, the next step, the next vision. Like we're so creative, right? There's so many squirrels constantly going on. And there's honestly, so that building that muscle of focus is very difficult. But success God's way is just different. I believe it's this. It's it's faithfulness. faithfulness to him, faithfulness to his calling, faithfulness to his word, pleasing him with our lives, with our character, faithfulness. I think the next part of that is fruitfulness. If you are having success God's way, you are making impact for his kingdom. And you don't have to be in the Christian marketplace to be making impact for the kingdom of God. I didn't even ask you, is this a Christian audience or not? I probably should have asked that.
It's not marketed per se like that, but I mean, obviously, I would say 80% of the people I interview are.
Okay, okay,
But I'm trying to reach both.
okay, okay. Well, then this is success God's way. This is really kind of for a kingdom mindset here. I'll go through it kind of quickly then. But then the next part is fully alive. I believe that your health, your wellness, joy in your relationships, how you're managing your health, your health and wellness, but also your self care is everything. I believe that Jesus says that He came to give us life and life to the full. That is an abundant, thriving life. I want every bit of that. And then the last one is finish strong. Is the finish strong is the well done, good and faithful servant. This takes resiliency. This takes grit. This takes determination. And this is a long game in mind, not a short sprint. And so that framework of faithful, fruitful, fully alive, and the finish strong, I believe that's the recipe for success God's way. And it looks different. And so for me, that's what I'm passionate about, helping women walk in, because I believe that you can walk in that. There's no striving. There's God is an abundant provider, but I believe he has abundant success for all of us.
Read those back to us again, or not read them. Call those off again.
Faithful, fruitful, fully alive, and finish strong. So that's one of my favorite keynotes for the right audience. And I think that's where I got sidetracked. But I use the science of high performance. So what I teach a lot, whether one-on-one clients, whether it is um, in my group coaching or wherever, is scripture, science, and stewardship. Those three things, bringing those three things together. And the science of high performance, the science piece of that is spectacular. And it will help us to stop the burnout cycle and the overwhelm cycle. It's literally mastery of six habits. And when you know those six habits to lean into, they become levers in your life. And I'll tell you, that helps me go further faster than anything. So learning that strategy, learning the science of that was everything for me. It was an unlock. It was like, I don't know if you ever feel this way. Do you ever feel like there's a next level that you have? There's a capacity and you're struggling to get yourself there.
Yeah, all the time.
That's how I was feeling. I was like, girl, how do I get to that version of myself? I've kind of like I hit a glass ceiling, and I that is what I want. The science of high performance was what released me to that level. I'm telling you, it's everything. So that's what I like to teach about.
Yeah, that's gold.
It's gold. It really is.
It's gold. You said something at the beginning of that dialogue about, and this is like in the flow of, um, I think it's when you were saying titles were idols, kind of in
Mhm.
that time frame, but like we're always what's next, what's next,
That's right.
and I caught myself in that today, and only because you've already brought it up. I was talking to a friend of mine today who was encouraging me with the news on the speaker progress, and I found myself, yeah, but I need to get to tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I caught myself, which is a victory, by the
Good.
way.
That's right. That
And it's
is.
like, no, 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 no. I need to enjoy this news. I need to praise God
That's right.
for this. Maybe I make the top 100, maybe I don't, but I can praise Him and relish. And by the way, because this is something I like to teach on a lot, I get to choose gratitude
That's
because it
right.
is a choice.
That's right.
And all that anxiety and all that burnout and all that worry and all that mistrust, I don't know about anybody else listening here. I think I've got an idea. I can only think of one dominant thing at a time. So if I'm choosing gratitude, guess what? It pushes all that other stuff out. And I chose
Well,
that today.
well, it does. And the science shows us that your brain cannot have anxiety and gratitude at the same time. It literally is a biblical antidote to fight. So if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with fear, focus on gratitude. Write things out. I met with a client this morning, and that was one of the things we talked about. She's like, I want more joy in my life. I'm like, okay, write down 10 things in the morning that you're grateful for. Write down 10 things in the evening that you're grateful for. Like we build, I think the more we can start to realize actually what we have agency over our thoughts. We have agency. I have agency. I have control over my thoughts. That's why the scripture says, take your thoughts captive.
Captive.
You
Mhm.
know what? And I do think the enemy can put thoughts into our minds, but we get to take it captive,
That's right.
right? But our thoughts and our actions and our habits, those three things will change your life. They will change your life. And all a habit is a consistent action. So your thoughts and your actions will change your life. And I actually would like to throw words in there. I think the power of life and death is in the tongue, and we speak too much death over ourselves. But that's a message for another day.
Now, I love that. And I'll close the loop on the gratitude piece by saying this. Like, if you're listening to this today or the next 30 days while this is up, or even if you listen to it on YouTube, um, if you're having one of those days where it took everything you had just to get out of bed, first of all, give yourself credit for getting out of bed. Not a small thing, right? But it's amazing to me, to Amy's point, if you just even jot down three things you're grateful for, maybe maybe it's having clean socks, and in my house, clean socks that match. Maybe you took a shower and guess what? The water was hot because the hot water heater's still working, and maybe there was food in the refrigerator. Those are pretty basic stuff, right? But there's a lot of the world that doesn't have it. And I'm not trying to shame anybody with those comments. I'm trying to say you can jot down the most elementary things, and you'll be amazed how three basic things in 10 minutes of doing this exercise, you'll have 30 or 40 on that list, and it'll
That's right.
change
That's
your
right.
whole outlook of the whole day.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Amy, I'd love for you to tell folks where they can find you and find the amazing work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you again for having me, Steve. I appreciate it. They can find me on social media, Amy Ramsey underscore on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm Amy Hill Ramsey. And they can go to amyramsey.com. I have a new website that's been under, we'll get to it one of these days. Listen, my team and I, we are like the, what do they call it? The cobbler without the shoes. That's who we are right now. I was like, oh my gosh, but amyramsey.com will help put them into different places. And if anybody wants more information about aligning their ambition, I actually just created a new resource and a private podcast, and it's called Aligned Ambition, the Aligned Ambition Blueprint. But they can go to amyramsey.com/blueprint and grab that. And it's a private podcast with a few other resources because this I'm so passionate about this very thing. I see too many entrepreneurs burning out and not hitting the long game and hitting their stride because they're exhausted doing all of the things, but they're not moving forward on the real true things that they want to do. So I have a heart for that.
And we'll have all of that in the show notes as well afterwards. Amy, if you're willing, I'd like to have you take that link that you just told us, and if you can put it in the comments section after we're done with the interview, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Before we close out, what words of encouragement would you send to the person that's in that chapter of their life right now where they feel stuck, they feel a little bit on the hopeless side,
Mhm.
they're looking for more support and not quite sure where to find it? What would your words of encouragement be to them?
I I got a message this morning, actually, and my words of encouragement would be make an investment in yourself. You are worthy of that. And oftentimes, your next level is find somebody that is doing life well. Find somebody that is doing what you want done, and and they're doing it they've been doing it longer and they've got success around that. Okay. I'm a coach that keeps a coach. I'm at a place in my own business, and I have a mentor, a business mentor, but I realized this week actually, I'm like, I need more support with where I'm at. We're hitting some beautiful, it's a good problem, but growing pains are a real problem. I mean, it's a real
Mhm.
thing. I realized I needed some more support. I joined a new mentorship today, actually. It's interesting. So, yes, yes. But I know that's exactly what I know that's my next level. And so you are worthy of that. It takes an investment. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. But it's oftentimes in that, and you have to make that investment. Usually it's a little bit bigger and a little bit requires more of you than you want to give. But it is in that investment that your next level will be oftentimes. Somebody that can teach you the way, show you the way, give you a framework and structure around that, hold you accountable. Do you know what percentage you are more likely to achieve a goal if you have the right accountability in place, Steve? This is really interesting.
What percentage of a grader? I'm going to say at least 80%.
Close. That's a good close call, which that's huge. That's huge, right? 95% with the right
Ooh.
coach and consistent ongoing coaching.
Mm,
95%.
mm,
That's crazy,
mm.
right? So look to science. Again, I said scripture, science, and stewardship. When you start to look to science and data, it's like this is a no-brainer. So what would I encourage your people to do? Change is possible for you. Put yourself in the right circumstance. And it could be that you take one little tiny step today, like call a friend, reach out. Steve, you help people, you coach people. Like reach out to Steve. Reach out. There's people here in this ecosystem, I'm sure. I've got coaching programs, but get yourself some support.
That's gold. And that's a great place for me to remind you guys that your circle matters.
Yes.
And your circle will evolve and it will change. And you may have people from way back in high school that are in your circle. Maybe they stay. But guess what? Don't be shocked if they don't, because as you continue to grow and invest in your growth, and it's not just money, money's part of it, right? But it's putting yourself out there, it's conquering fears, et cetera, et cetera. But don't be surprised if that core circle changes. And if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have a coach, if you don't have an accountability partner, and let me explain that, not someone that's just busting you all the time, but they know you've articulated what your dreams and goals are to them, and they want it as much as you do because they love and care about you that much. You need somebody that's holding your feet to the fire in a loving, accountable way. But if you don't have that, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. And it's time to redo the circle. Okay. I just want to, as we close out, Amy, first of all, I want to thank you for saying yes. I want to thank you for being you. And today you showed up with wisdom, with gold, and with vulnerability. And I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Last thing I'll say to you guys before we close out, wherever you're at on this journey, wherever you're at today, you're in a chapter. You're in a chapter in a book that's not been written all the way through yet. And I can't wait to read your entire book. Your story's not over yet. This chapter, whether good, whether bad, or whether, meh, it's just a chapter. But you've got to see it through to get to the rest. God's not done writing your book yet. Some of your best chapters are on the way. Be encouraged by that. I appreciate each one of you. Take care till next time.